Welcome to Suncoast FYI. I'm your host, Nancy O'Neill. This week's show features a kickoff to Thunder by the Bay, a new ballet group with a great message, and quilts, quilts, and more quilts. To the Suncoast, February 17th through the 19th is the iconic motorcycle and music festival, Thunder by the Bay. Here with me now to celebrate their 25th anniversary is festival director Lucy Nicandri.
It's great to be here, Nancy. 25 years, right?
Years,
yeah.
My gosh.
I know. We're very proud of it this year. It's,
Well, you should be.
You know, not a lot of festivals survive 25 years, and we've definitely seen the ups and the downs over those years, and lots of exciting things happening this year.
Well, I'm just going to say they couldn't have done it without you.
Well, it takes a village.
It does.
It does.
But it takes somebody like you to
Thank you.
keep it moving forward.
Thank you.
Speaking of moving forward, what can the attendees expect this year for the 25th anniversary?
Well, we've got a lot of original things that'll be happening that's traditional with the festival, and some new things. Okay. So continuous live music all 3 days. We have 8 different bands that'll be performing classic rock and country.
Where?
At the Sarasota Fairgrounds. Okay. And we have 2 headline acts. 38 Special is going to perform Saturday at 8 p.m. and Colt Ford is going to perform Sunday at 3 p.m. So that's a big thing for us to bring in 2 national acts. Wow. Admission is very reasonable. You can buy advance tickets for $10 at thunderbythebay.org. If you do pay at the gate, it is $15. You can bring a blanket, a lawn chair, and then we're going to have a food court. We have over 100 vendors that'll be selling all different kinds of things, whether you're into motorcycling or not, and I want to emphasize that.
Okay.
New things this year, inside the arena, we're going to have custom bike builders that'll have bikes on display and a vintage motorcycle display by Hap Cycle Sales. Wow. Outside, we'll have a kids zone, food court, 100 vendors, tented seating for general public. We are also going to have motorcycle freestyle shows on BMX and FMX bikes and motorcycles. And if you're not familiar with what freestyle is, that's where they're on those bikes doing the flips and the tricks, ramp to ramp. Wow. We're going to have a 17 class bike show going on. Universal Championship Wrestling is going to do some performances. So there's going to be a lot of activities for families, kids. If you're a motorcycle enthusiast, and I want to encourage everybody to come on out because it all benefits Suncoast Charities for Children.
Yes, and please tell our viewers about the positive financial impacts that what you do has had over the course of all these years.
I would love to, Nancy. So over the past 24 years, we've raised $2 million, and that money is then allocated to 7 different nonprofits through Suncoast Charities for Children here in the local community. Our mission is to fund those agencies because they're providing programs and services to children, teens, and adults with special needs. So that's our focus and our mission. This is our biggest fundraiser of the year. It started with 100 motorcycles, and I think we raised just about $100 the first year.
Oh my gosh.
It expanded from a 1-day to a 2-day festival. It was downtown at one point. It was at Lakewood Ranch. Now we've grown so much that the fairgrounds is a wonderful venue because it offers free parking and camping on site. If you have an RV, you can come and camp for the weekend. And we've been able to really grow it, especially going into our 25th year.
Now, is camping free?
Camping, there is a charge for camping.
Okay.
It's $35 a day, I believe.
Okay.
It's you can find all the information on our website. But it's nice if you just want to camp, and for the weekend, you can pull your RV in, and it's full service hookup, and you can have a wonderful time.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Now, there's the 25-25 giving campaign.
Yes.
Which is tied into the Thunder by the Bay. What is that all about?
We were very fortunate, Suncoast Charities for Children we had a donor, the James M. Doss Charitable Foundation, who gave a $25,000 match. So any donations we receive that are not sponsorship or admission to the festival, but if you go online and you make a donation, they will match dollar for dollar every donation up to $25,000.
Oh my
so
gosh.
our goal is to hit $50,000. That's all the more money that we can allocate after the festival is over. And I want to thank Marla and Jim Doss for stepping forward, their family foundation for doing this in recognition of 25 years. Yeah.
Well, yes. Special
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, very special people, and they fully understand what we're doing out there in the community. There's over 8,000 clients that are being impacted in their families here locally. These agencies include Special Olympics, Loveland Center, the Florida Center for Early Childhood, Children First, Venice Challenger Baseball, the Haven, the Suncoast Foundation. So they're all doing great work, and we want to keep that funding at a high level going into next year.
And again, that's thanks to you.
Well, and thanks to all that everybody that contributes and helps.
Absolutely.
It's interesting when we opened up, we do have a core group of people that have been involved pretty much for every year, about 5 of us, that we know what needs to get done, we get it done, but we couldn't do it without the public that comes out, the vendors, all the sponsors.
Sure.
And I want to just let viewers know, when you pay your admission fee, all the vendor fees, sponsor fees, that all goes to the bottom line. So it's a very small cost when you're looking at all the entertainment you're going to get, plus you got some national acts, the best of classic rock and country. So check us out, thunderbythebay.org.
Okay. Did you ever think it would get to where it is now, Lucy? I mean, thinking back over 24 years.
I never thought it would get this big, but once I put my mind to something, it started on a bar napkin. It really did. When I wrote it down, and then a lot of people said to me, Lucy, you'll never grow this in this town. It'll be a bike event, but you're not going to be able to do a festival. And at the time, the worst thing you could tell me is you can't do something.
Do it, right.
And I said, there's other cities and towns, and not only in Florida, but I would go to other bike rallies and see these festivals and see how they raise money for charity. So a lot of people embraced it, and we've been able to grow it. And we've gone, like I said, we went through changes. We've survived COVID. We had an economic downturn. We had to relocate several times. The one thing that never has changed is what this is all about, and that's to raise money
for the kids.
For people with
children.
special needs, children, teens, and adults.
Thank you,
So.
dear. Okay, one more time, where can our viewers go purchase?
Yes,
tickets?
thunderbythebay.org. There's a few events before the festival, so check those out too.
Okay.
Sporting clay, fashion show, a tequila tasting, a kickoff party.
All right. We're
check
going to
it out.
have you next week to talk more about those.
We're going to talk fashion, and you're going to be one of our special guest models, and I'm so excited. So I'm looking forward to that, Nancy.
Yes, I am as well. Thank you. Thanks, Lucy. We'll see you next week.
Thanks. Thanks for having us.
Just ahead on Suncoast FYI, we sit down with Kate Flowers, the artistic director of Azara Ballet. Joining me to talk about their inclusive and nonprofit dance company, my next guest is Kate Flowers, the artistic director of Azara Ballet. Well, it sounds like you have a very exciting job, and I love the name of the ballet. Can you tell us a little bit about the organization and how it started, Kate?
Of course, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Azara Ballet is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and we are operating as a professional dance company that will be performing classical and contemporary works of art in the Sarasota and Manatee counties, and hopefully eventually in the St. Pete area as well. The co-founders are myself and my fiance, Martin, and our stories are really at the heart of how this organization was founded. So personally, I always knew I wanted to dance. I was on the trajectory to become a professional dancer. I dedicated my entire adolescent and teen years to dancing. And by the time I was 16, I had already suffered a couple of years of eating disorders because of the unhealthy culture that ballet can have. And this unfortunately led to severe drug abuse in my case, and all because I was trying to fit into this perfect ballet body mold at this young, formidable age.
Right.
And it's hard to talk about. Luckily, I was able to recover from this. It took many years, but the saddest part is that it halted my dance career. It stopped me from being able to pursue that dream. And I was able to move on with my life and run a successful online business for health and wellness. Got to encourage hundreds of thousands of young women to love themselves. Really proud of that, but my heart has always continued to long for dance. My partner's story is a little bit different. He was diagnosed later in life with autism, and he looks back at his life and realizes that his early years were really lonely and isolated. And when he started doing ballet, it completely changed his life, gave him a nonverbal form of expression to express himself, and he felt like he belonged. He's now been dancing for over 20 years. When we came together and met, ballet is really what brought us. We had this shared love of dance, and the dream and goal was always to start our own company, create a safe space for dancers, and be able to bring the art of dance to neurodivergent and autistic communities as well.
Is there any other areas that you feel you make a difference in than a typical ballet company does?
Yeah, so obviously what I think makes us the most different is our unique stories, and also our genuine passion to do our part to change ballet culture for the better.
Okay.
The toxic elements of ballet for many, many years have been underexposed, and that's because dancers, I think, are afraid to speak out. It is even taking courage for me to speak out about it today.
Very brave.
Thank you. The elitism, the body shaming, the overworking, the expectation for perfection. For many years, I watched these things and thought, this is not okay. Somebody has to speak up about this. And then I realized I am somebody.
You.
And so our dance company will be different in the sense that we will be caring for our dancers. We want to include dancers of all body types, ethnicities, orientations, and have them feel welcomed and valued and loved and get to do what they have spent their whole lives wanting to do and give back that love to our audiences. I think audiences can feel when the dancers are happy and healthy, their souls shine through much brighter.
So Kate, can you tell us in what ways does your nonprofit give back to our community?
So aside from our performances that we want to be really engaging and captivating for our audiences, we are giving back through our outreach programs. I'll name a couple to just to give you an example. Today we're working with The Haven, which is a long-standing nonprofit organization that houses and educates people with disabilities. So we are running a program for autistic children in preschool, autistic and neurodivergent children, and teaching them ballet classes. It's amazing to see them light up through this nonverbal form of expression and to get to see their progress every single week. And we're also doing a program in partnership with Parkinson Place, and we're creating modified seated ballet classes for people with Parkinson's and other movement disorders. And it has a whole host of physical benefits, but the biggest thing is they leave those classes happier than when they walked in.
Absolutely.
And that it gives us so much joy to be able to give back in those ways as well.
It takes them out of their space.
Absolutely.
And puts them in another world, basically.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. How many teachers do you have?
Well, our dancers are also doubling as our teachers.
All right.
So right now we have 3 different people teaching.
Lovely.
Yes.
Lovely. Events coming up. I know you mentioned an event. Let's tell our viewers about that, please.
Yes, thank you. We are so excited to put on our first fundraiser gala. It will be a luncheon in March, and it'll only be a couple hours, so it won't take up anybody's entire day. But they can come and meet us as the founders, meet our dancers, and we're actually putting on a full small performance so that they can get a taste of our performance quality and what we're really trying to give back to the community.
And where is that going to be, Kate?
That'll be at the Carlisle Inn.
So our viewers can go online and get the address for the Carlisle Inn, and that's wonderful. And as far as getting tickets, prior to the gala, where can our viewers go to learn more about you and your wonderful ballet? And
yes, you can go to azaraballet.org to learn more about us. And if you're specifically wanting to get tickets, you can go to azaraballet.org/gala.
Okay, wonderful. I think you're amazing.
Thank you so much for having me.
And I think what you're doing for everyone out there is of a great benefit.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Up next on Suncoast FYI, we take a look ahead to the big quilt show coming up in Venice. The airing of the quilt show is quickly approaching, and on to talk more about this wonderful event is Jamie Lynch, Vice President of the Sarasota Modern Quilt Guild, and Margie Bolus, the Program Committee Co-Chairperson of the Quilt Guild. Good morning. Thank you for coming
Good
today
morning.
and bringing all of these beautiful quilts, which we'll talk about in a moment. But please tell us a little bit more about the Sarasota Modern Quilt Guild and the show, Airing of the Quilts.
Well, thank you, first of all, for inviting us to share this information with you and your viewers. And we'd like to, on behalf of all our members, extend an invitation to our show.
Okay.
We call it the Airing of the Quilts. It will be held next Saturday,
Which is-
February 4th,
yeah.
from 10 until 3 in the afternoon at Maxine Barrett Park, which is in Venice. It's on Harbor Drive South.
Yeah, just past the airport.
Just past the airport.
Okay, that's a good reference.
This will be a quilt show unlike other quilt shows you have seen, perhaps.
Okay, tell us why.
Okay, well, first of all, let me give you a couple more details.
Okay.
The show, entry to the show is free. There is ample parking and there's no charge for parking. So come and enjoy the day outside in a beautiful park on the Gulf of Mexico. How can you go wrong with that?
Lovely.
So our members will be there early in the morning and we will string clothesline from palm tree to palm tree.
Wow. How many members do you have?
55. And then we will hang our quilts, our modern quilts, all over the park. So anybody who comes to see us can wander through the park, can stop and look at what we have displayed, talk to the quilters who are right there with their quilts, and go home with a better understanding of what modern quilting is all about, I
Absolutely.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there'll be other things going on? you
Absolutely.
mentioned during
We
this
will
time?
be, we are a nonprofit organization. We have a large charity function, and this is our one way of making some money for our guild. We will be selling fabric. And we've had lots of donations from both guild members and outsiders. We've sized it all, priced it. It's very reasonably priced, $4 a yard. And you can come in and choose as much fabric as you want, or as little as you want. And you don't have to be a quilter. It can be used for other things. And we have a huge scrap pool where everyone can take as many scraps
Oh
as
my
they
gosh.
want, stuff them in a bag, and the price is per size bag that you stuffed. So you can choose everything you need or want to do crafting, your sales. And again, it's all free.
Wonderful. That's delightful. Are there any demonstrations going on during the show?
There will not be any demonstrations, but as you wander and look at the quilts, you can question how they were put together,
Okay.
ask for details. We always love to talk about what we do. So
Yeah, we do.
Well, you have to have a passion for doing this because it is just obviously laborious, a labor of
Yeah.
love. And we're going to talk about those. I mean, I can't stop looking at them.
Yeah, we wouldn't say it was laborious.
So
No, we don't find it laborious
Okay.
at all. It's joy.
that would take the fun out of
Right,
it.
It
right?
is.
Exactly.
We do it totally for fun.
So how many quilts? You said you have 55
We have 55 members,
How many
yes.
quilts are you going to donate?
Well, annually we do about 150 quilts. 55 women can be very productive.
Okay.
To make a quilt takes several different steps, and some of them are very creative, and some of them are meditative. So we often do part of each quilt that we donate. For instance, if you look at a quilt,
Which one would you like?
any of them, we talk about this as being the top of the quilt. So this is where a creative process comes in. So whoever is making the top of the quilt is going to decide on what is it going to look like, what colors am I going to choose, what's the size of it going to be. That's a very artistic, creative process. All of us love that. And we are modern quilters, so we often do things very improvisationally.
it.
We use a lot of negative space, maybe build on the idea of a traditional block, but it comes out very differently. Then you need to sandwich it, and somebody maybe will quilt it. Then
Put
we
these lines
Yep.
of sewing.
Okay, so
That's
there's a
the
lot of
actual
details
called
into it.
quilting.
Okay. I want to find out though now, you said you donate. Who do you donate?
We
the,
donate the
monies
quilts, and
to?
let me get my list
Yeah.
because I always get messed up. We donate, over the last 6 years, we've donated over 720 quilts and over 300 pillowcases to hold the quilts in. So the quilts are going for children. They're served by Sally House. They're served by the Safe Children Coalition. Then those are for kids that are at risk. So every single child in those programs given their very own quilt, their names put on the back of it. They're giving a pillowcase to keep it in. They take it home with them. They take it to their foster family, wherever they're ending up. That's their quilt forever.
That's lovely.
And then We provide quilts for comforting of other children in Sarasota, Manatee, Pinellas, and Hillsborough County. And then we've also donated quilts to the Women Veteran, to Celea Freedom, and I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that correctly, but that is that trafficking organization. We like to support them. Healthy Start Sarasota, and the Heritage Health Center. So we like to make quilts, but it's wonderful to make them. And that's one of the reasons we're having the fabric sale.
Sure.
These aren't your grandmother's quilts. They're not your traditional quilting fabric.
No, they're
And we go out and purchase fun, exciting fabrics to make the children's quilts so that the kids have something bright and colorful.
So these are hangings as opposed
These
to
are wall hangings,
wall
and the ones that
hangings.
we make that we donate to the children's services are generally what we would call lap size.
Okay.
So they can go for anybody who, from toddler
sure.
size to a teenager, because those organizations serve children of all ages.
They're all beautiful.
The ones we typically make for our friends and family are many
course.
different sizes,
There you
but
go.
we brought these in today just so that you could have a sample.
Well, thank you. They're all beautiful, and I'd like to take them all home. How can our viewers participate? I'd like to share that before we close today.
We'd like them to show up at the show. We'd like
Okay.
them to talk to the gift quilters. Some of the quilts will have tags on them saying for sale. If you want to buy one, talk to the quilter, and you can purchase that very quilt right off the clothesline.
love it.
And then, of course, bring lots of money, buy lots of fabric. We'll put a little jar out if you want to just make a donation for the children's fabric. We'll be happy to use that too to buy more. So those are things you can do.
Thank you. Thank you. And if anybody would like to join you, they can find out more information at the show.
Or
They-
go to our website.
Or on
Go
our
to your
website.
website?
Yes,
Okay,
we'd
we'll
love to see them.
run that
Anybody
across the
can come
bottom
as a
for you.
guest to any one of our meetings, so we would love to have them
Well,
come.
thank you both.
Thank you.
We'll see you on February 4th.
Hopefully. Great,
Hope to
thank
see
you,
you.
Nancy.
Thank you. We hope you enjoyed the show today, and thank you for joining us on Suncoast FYI. If you would like to promote your nonprofit or community event, we would love to hear from you, and this is a complimentary service. Please call our producer, Adam Huntley, at 941-361-4645 or email fyi@snnTV.com. To view previous episodes, go to snnTV.com and click on the What's On tab. I'm Nancy O'Neill, and we'll see you next week on Suncoast FYI.